Welcome to Dobrinishte, a small town in Bulgaria at the foot of the Pirin Mountains. This is the starting point of my journey on Bulgaria's last operational narrow-gauge railway. My train is getting ready for its 125-kilometer journey. A journey that will take 5 hours. So clearly, this trip will be about enjoying the scenic ride rather than a rush to the destination. This narrow-gauge line is a time capsule that connects communities through the heart of the Balkans. My train is due to leave at 2:25 p.m. I have enough time before the departure to show you around. The single-class carriages produced in Bulgaria are equipped with upholstered seats with armrests in a 2x1 configuration, and the all-important power sockets. Basic and clean. There's no air conditioning, but the windows open easily, which is great for capturing this scenic ride. And more importantly, a much-needed heating for the winter months is also available. Unusually for a narrow-gauge train, this service has a bistro car for drinks and snacks. If you are keen on such facilities, I recommend a similar service that leaves Septemvri at 8:55 in the morning. Toilets have been cleaned, fully stocked up, but do keep the window open. The line is a single-track, non-electrified, with trains running at an average modest speed of 30 km per hour. But don't let the numbers fool you. This narrow-gauge line is a testament to the success of engineering. Built with a 760mm Bosnian gauge, this railway is a technical marvel. Avramovo station is the highest point of this line at 1,267 meters above sea level. It's also the highest train station on the Balkan Peninsula. Steep gradients up to 3.2% challenge locomotives. Not to mention the tight bends with a minimum radius of just 60 meters. The line even curves on itself, forming a unique figure of 8 shape. The station offers basic facilities with a waiting room, toilets, and vending machines outside. Tickets couldn't be purchased at the station during my visit. You can buy them from the conductor instead. It's very easy to buy tickets online from the Bulgarian national train operator. You can book seats for some train services. You will find the link in the video description. Tickets for the entire line cost between €4.29 and €5.27. Let's zoom in on a map to locate Dobrinishte. In 1945, this town marked the completion of a bold project that began more than 2 decades earlier to build this train line. Today, it's a gateway to the mountains. Hikers, skiers, and locals all rely on this station. You can reach Dobrinishte from Sofia by bus. The journey takes about 3.5 hours. And that's the fastest way to reach this town. At the other end of the narrow-gauge railway, passengers can connect in Septemvri with Bulgaria's main rail network. Sofia is about 2.5 hours away by train and Plovdiv only 30 minutes away. I do recommend visiting Plovdiv, a fantastic city, and you can even do it as a day trip by train from Sofia. The first stretch takes us through the Razlog Valley, framed by the Pirin and Rila ranges. This part of the line to Bansko was constructed through the voluntary efforts of the residents of Dobrinishte. That's commitment. We stop at Bansko, Bulgaria's premier ski resort, where modern hotels and lifts contrast with the vintage charm of the train. This is only a stop. Unfortunately, the station building has certainly seen better days. It's located near the village of Banya, known for this thermal springs and spa. The train leaves the Razlog plain behind to follow valleys and the Istok and Mesta rivers. This section is slower, much slower. Although bouncy, it's a comfortable ride and the scenery is very pleasant. Welcome to the dining car, as the train operator refers to it. I think it's a stretch. Bar carriage is more in line with the original version of bistro car, as only drinks and snacks are served. Maybe a missed opportunity for a more substantial food offering on busier train services, or simply bring your own. Still, I was very happy to enjoy a cold beer actually brewed in this part of Bulgaria. And for train fans, you will find some memorabilia related to this narrow gauge railway. Another tip, do bring cash for payments. And remember that Bulgaria is switching to the euro in January 2026. At 1,267 meters above sea level, Avramovo is the highest railway station on the Balkan Peninsula. From Avramovo, now comes the most challenging part of the journey, the descent towards Velingrad. The train tackles gradients of up to 3.2%, looping through tight curves and tunnels. The line even forms a unique figure of 8 with 2 spirals. At this time of the year, it's difficult to spot the track passing over itself through the dense vegetation. I did catch a few glimpses. The train pulls into Velingrad, Bulgaria's spa capital. Known for its mineral springs, Velingrad is a popular destination for wellness tourism. You will find many other spas or hot springs along this train line. The train is now on its home stretch, crossing the plain towards Septemvri, the last stop on Bulgaria's last operational narrow-gauge line. As I get closer to my destination, time to share some final thoughts on this train trip. The journey itself was quite pleasant. The ride is a bit bouncy but nothing uncomfortable. Although the journey took 5 hours, I enjoyed the scenic route and time flew by. It might not be the most breathtaking train journey in Europe, but it's pleasant enough. I am really glad to have experienced this train and narrow gauge line. It gives a different perspective on the Bulgarian countryside. It's worth remembering that this train is a very important link for local communities. Pros: like other train journeys in Bulgaria, tickets for this narrow gauge train offer incredible value and are easy to buy online, with the option to book seats on some services. If not the most scenic, it's certainly one of the best value, most unique train rides in Europe. The carriages were clean, well maintained, and unlike other trains in Bulgaria, free of any graffiti. The older rolling stock, vintage locomotives, and steam-heated coaches create an authentic and nostalgic feeling. It is an engineering marvel from the early 20th century. The route includes Avramovo, the highest railway station in the Balkan. Cons: basic amenities, no recline, older trains, but clean. Catering is limited and don't expect luxury. Accessibility for passengers with limited mobility could be an issue. The main drawback for travelers who just want to go from A to B is the speed. The 125 kilometers journey takes approximately 5 hours, significantly longer than a bus or car. And if you are short on time, Remember, a bus journey to or from Dobrinishte might be a good alternative rather than doing the same journey by train again. Still, I don't think it should be judged with the same criteria as other train services I took before. It's more about the experience, the historical significance, the engineering achievements and the nostalgic feeling rather than just the transportation. I would certainly recommend this journey. Whether you simply enjoy train travel or activities on this route such as hiking, skiing or spas, I think it's a good way to support all those who continue to make this train line a reality. And I would like to thank them for their dedication. I'd love to enjoy it again, this time in winter, or catch a special service with the steam locomotive. Finally, after about 5 hours, the train rolls into Septemvri, where the narrow gauge meets Bulgaria's main standard gauge network. From here, passengers can continue to Plovdiv or Sofia. Are you planning to visit Bulgaria by train? Drop your questions and thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss my next travel video.